She walked into her mother's house with a broken heart and a baby on the way, but what she discovered inside made her knees tremble. Watch till the end. The sun had barely risen when Emily stood outside her mother's old house. Her hands trembled as she held the small suitcase by her side. She was pregnant, she was alone, and her heart felt heavier than the morning fog around her. Emily hadn't stepped inside this house since her mother passed away 2 years ago. Every memory felt like a wound that refused to heal, but today, she had nowhere else to go. Her boyfriend had left her the night she told him about the baby. He didn't argue, he didn't shout, he simply walked away, and with him, her world collapsed. Emily wiped her tears with the sleeve of her sweater. She whispered to herself, "You can do this." The house looked older than she remembered. The paint was peeling, the garden was wild, the windows were dusty and dark, but something about it still felt like home. She pushed the key into the lock. It turned with a stiff click. The door groaned open. A cold, stale air rolled out like a forgotten sigh. Emily stepped inside carefully. Her footsteps echoed. The floorboards creaked beneath her. The house smelled exactly the same. Old wood, lavender candles, and memories. She swallowed hard. "Mom, I'm home," she whispered. Silence answered her. Emily slowly walked into the living room. Dust covered everything like a thin blanket of time. The picture frames on the shelf were crooked. Her mother's armchair sat in the same place by the window. Emily reached out and touched it. Her chest tightened. She could almost imagine her mother sitting there, smiling warmly. A floorboard creaked behind her. Emily froze. She turned quickly. No one was there. "Calm down," she whispered. But her heartbeat didn't slow. She walked toward the kitchen. The door was half open. She didn't remember leaving it like that years ago. She pushed it gently. The door swung open with a soft groan. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. A strange humming sound came from inside, like electricity. Emily stepped forward slowly. She reached the kitchen counter. The humming grew louder. Her palms started sweating. She felt a strange pressure in her chest. She looked around the room. Nothing seemed different, until she noticed the cellar door. It was slightly open. A chill ran through her spine. That door was always locked. Always. Her mother used to warn her never to go down there. Emily's breathing grew shallow. She stepped closer to the cellar. The humming sound was definitely coming from below. "Hello?" she called softly. No answer. She placed her hand on the doorknob. It was warm. Too warm. Emily stepped back instinctively. Suddenly, something banged from inside the cellar. Emily jumped. Her heart pounded violently. The baby inside her kicked for the first time that day. She placed a protective hand on her stomach. "It's okay. Mommy's here," she whispered. But she wasn't sure she believed it. She backed away from the cellar door. Her hands shook uncontrollably. She needed to sit down. She walked into the living room again, sat on the couch, closed her eyes, breathed slowly. "You're imagining things," she told herself. "It's just an old house." But deep down, she knew something was off. She opened her suitcase, took out a small blanket. It belonged to her mother. She held it close to her chest. Tears slipped down her cheeks. She felt more alone than ever. A soft thud echoed upstairs. Emily's eyes snapped open. She stared at the ceiling. Another thud. This one heavier. Her throat tightened. "Maybe an animal," she whispered. But she didn't believe that either. She stood slowly. Her legs trembled. She took a deep breath. "Someone is in this house. I need to know." She stepped onto the staircase. Each step creaked loudly. The air felt colder as she climbed. Shadows clung to the hallway. She reached the top. The door to her mother's bedroom was half open. Emily hadn't touched that room since the funeral. Her heart ached at the thought of going inside. But the sound had come from there. She pushed the door slowly. The room was dim. Dust danced in the thin light from the window. The bed was untouched. Her mother's shawl still hung on the chair. Emily stepped inside. A cold breeze brushed past her. She shivered. The window was open. She walked to close it. But then she saw something on the floor. A small envelope, yellowed old with her name written on it. Emily felt her breath catch. Her knees weakened. She knelt slowly, picked up the envelope. Her hands trembled violently. She whispered, "Mom, did you leave this?" The room felt too quiet, too still. She opened the envelope. Inside was a letter, folded neatly, just like her mother used to fold things. Emily unfolded it with shaking fingers. The handwriting was familiar, warm, loving. Her mother's handwriting. The first line made Emily gasp. Her heart dropped. Her breath stopped. She clutched the letter to her chest. Tears streamed down her face. She whispered, "No, this can't be real." The floor creaked behind her. Emily froze again. She turned slowly. Her eyes widened. She couldn't breathe. Someone was standing at the doorway, watching her, silent, still. Emily's heartbeat hammered in her ears. She stepped back instinctively. The letter fell from her hand. Who are you?" she whispered. The figure didn't move, didn't speak. Emily felt a wave of fear wash over her. And then, the figure stepped forward slightly. The light touched their face. Emily gasped again. She couldn't believe who it was. Her entire world spun. Her legs nearly gave out. The person whispered her name, softly, gently, as if from another lifetime. Emily felt everything inside her break open. Her voice cracked as she whispered back, "Why are you here?" The person took another step. Emily's breath shook. The room felt too small, too heavy, too familiar. The truth was coming, and Emily wasn't ready. Not for this, not today. But the next words shattered her completely. "Emily, you need to understand the truth about your mother." The person standing in her mother's bedroom revealed a truth Emily was never prepared to hear. Watch till the end. Emily couldn't move. Her entire body felt frozen in place. The figure at the doorway stepped forward again, slowly, carefully, as if they didn't want to scare her. But Emily was already terrified. Her heartbeat thundered inside her chest. "Please," she whispered, "tell me who you are." The figure raised their hands gently. "Emily, it's me," they said softly. The voice, it was familiar, too familiar. Emily blinked rapidly. Her vision blurred with tears. The dim light finally revealed the person's face. Emily gasped. Uncle David, her mother's brother, missing for more than 7 years. The family thought he had vanished without a trace. "How are you here? Why?" Emily's voice cracked. 1,000 questions swirled in her mind. David stepped inside the room. His clothes were worn. His face was tired. His eyes looked haunted. "Didn't mean to frighten you," he whispered. Emily backed away slightly. Confusion flooded her. "I thought you were dead." David lowered his gaze. "I know." Emily bent down and picked up the fallen letter. "Did you put this here?" David shook his head slowly. "No. Your mother left that for you." Emily felt her stomach twist. "She wrote this before she died?" David nodded. Emily unfolded the letter again. Her hands trembled. She read the first line slowly. The words cut deep. "You are reading this, Emily. It means I couldn't protect you from the truth." Emily swallowed hard. A cold shiver ran down her spine. "What truth?" she whispered. David exhaled heavily. "Sit down, Emily." But she didn't move. She didn't want to sit. She needed answers. "Tell me now," she insisted. David rubbed his forehead. "Your mother didn't die the way everyone thinks." Emily felt her knees weaken. What do you mean?" David looked toward the open window, as if checking if someone was listening. Emily's anxiety grew. "You're scaring me," David whispered. She didn't pass peacefully. Emily's breath caught. Stop. Please don't say that. David's voice trembled. Your mother discovered something. Something dangerous. Emily shook her head. About what? David hesitated. His silence made everything worse. The air felt heavy with secrets. Emily clutched the letter tightly. Tell me. About what? David finally spoke. Slowly. Carefully. She discovered something hidden in this house. Emily stared at him. Her heart thumped painfully. In this house? David nodded. Yes, and she wasn't supposed to find it. Emily felt the walls closing in. She glanced around the dim room. Every corner felt suddenly suspicious. Watched. Dangerous. What did she find? David stepped closer. Emily, it's connected to you. Emily froze. Me? Why me? David let out a shaky breath. Because it started when you were a child. Emily's mind spiraled. I don't remember anything. You weren't supposed to. Emily shook her head violently. No, this doesn't make sense. David's voice dropped to a whisper. Your mother hid something to protect you. Emily clutched her stomach instinctively. The baby kicked again. Her fear deepened. And did someone come after her? David looked away. His silence said everything. Emily felt tears blur her vision. She whispered, She died because of me. Didn't she? David stepped forward quickly. No, not because of you, but because she tried to save you. Emily felt her heart rip apart. Save me from what? David stared at the floor. From the truth buried in the cellar. Emily froze. Her entire body went cold. The cellar? David nodded. Yes. Emily remembered the humming sound, the banging noise, the warm doorknob. Her throat tightened. I heard something down there today. David's eyes widened. You opened it? No, only a little. David's face turned pale. Emily, you shouldn't have even gone near it. Panic shot through her. What's inside? David hesitated again, then whispered, Something your mother spent her entire life trying to destroy. Emily backed away instinctively. I don't understand any of this. David stepped closer. You will. But you must be strong. Emily wiped her tears. Just tell me the truth. David pointed to the letter. Finish reading what she wrote. Emily looked down at the letter with trembling hands. She unfolded the next part. Her mother's handwriting stared back at her. The next line made Emily's heart stop. Emily, if the cellar opens again, you must not go near it. Your life, and your baby's life, depends on it. Emily's breath shook. Her legs nearly gave out. Why? She whispered. David stepped beside her. Because what's inside that cellar? Emily stared at him with wide, terrified eyes. David's final words sent a chill through her entire body. Isn't human. Her uncle's final words echoed through the room. What's inside the cellar isn't human. And that was only the beginning. Watch till the end. Emily staggered backward, as if the floor had moved beneath her feet. Not human? She whispered. Her voice barely escaped her throat. David's expression grew even darker. You need to sit down. No, Emily said, shaking her head. I need answers. David took a deep breath. He looked older than she remembered, like someone carrying years of fear. Your mother didn't want you to know, he murmured. But now we don't have a choice. Emily's chest tightened. What does the cellar have to do with me? David stared at her stomach. And with your baby? Emily instinctively covered her belly. Don't look at my child like that. David raised his hands. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to protect you. Emily didn't trust anyone anymore. Not after everything. David pointed gently to the letter again. Your mother wrote more. Emily hesitated. Her hands trembled as she lifted the letter. She forced herself to read the next lines. Each word tightened her breathing. Emily, when you were 6 years old, something followed you home. Emily froze. A cold ripple ran through her body. Followed me? She looked up at David. His face confirmed it. It wasn't a metaphor. It wasn't a childhood imagination. It was real. Emily whispered, "What followed me?" David exhaled shakily. "We don't know what to call it. We only know what it can do." Emily's throat tightened. "What can it do?" David hesitated before answering. "It attaches to people, watches them, feeds on their fear." Emily stepped back. "Stop. Please stop." David nodded slowly. "I wish I could." Emily read more from the letter. "It entered the cellar the night you came home crying, and I locked it inside. I thought it would die there, but it didn't." Emily felt her skin crawl. A tear slipped down her cheek. "Mom knew all this, and she never told me?" David sat slowly on the edge of the bed. "She wanted you to have a normal life." Emily shook her head. "This isn't normal. Nothing about this is normal." David whispered, "She paid the price for hiding it." Emily's heart clenched painfully. She sank onto the chair. "So the thing in the cellar killed her?" David wiped his face. "We don't know. But the night she died, the cellar door was wide open." Emily covered her mouth. Her breath broke into gasps. Her mother died scared, alone, because of her. "This is my fault," she whispered. David knelt in front of her. "No, your mother made her own choices. She fought for you." Emily cried silently. The weight of everything crushed her. The room felt smaller, darker, like something was listening, watching, waiting. Emily wiped her tears. "What does this thing want from me?" David's jaw tightened. "It wants what it always wanted." Emily's blood ran cold. Her hands shook uncontrollably. "But why me?" David hesitated. His eyes softened with pain. "Because you're the only one who ever escaped it." Emily's stomach twisted. A distant rumbling sound echoed through the floor. Emily and David both froze. The sound came again. A deep, dragging noise from beneath the house. Emily whispered, "Cellar." David stood quickly. "Stay here." "No." Emily grabbed his arm. "Don't go down there." David looked at her. His expression was firm, determined. "If it's trying to get out, we need to know." Emily shook her head violently. "We can leave. We can go somewhere safe." David whispered, "There is no safe place from it." Emily felt her breath break. Panic clawed up her throat. She grabbed the door frame to steady herself. Another bang echoed louder this time. Emily's heart raced. "It's trying to come out," she whispered. Her voice cracked. David motioned for her to follow him. "We need to see how much the lock has shifted." Emily hesitated. Fear pulsed through her veins, but she followed. Slowly, carefully. They walked down the hallway. Each step felt heavier. The house seemed to breathe with them, as if alive, as if aware. The air grew colder. Emily wrapped her arms around herself. They reached the stairs. The living room below was dim, still, oppressively quiet. David stepped down first. Emily followed closely. Her heart was pounding so loudly she could hear it in her ears. They reached the bottom. Emily stared at the cellar door. Her breath stopped. The door was open wider than before. David froze. "It's moving," he whispered. Emily grabbed his arm tightly. "We need to leave." Now another sound rose from the cellar. Not a bang, not a scrape. A voice. A soft, whispering voice calling her name. Emily's blood turned to ice. covered her ears. No, no, this isn't real. David stood perfectly still, his face turned pale. It's awake, he whispered. Emily shook her head desperately. Why is it calling me? David's voice trembled. Because it remembers you. Emily backed away. Her legs felt weak. She nearly collapsed. The whisper came again, louder, closer. Emily! David grabbed her shoulders. Listen to me. Do not go near that door. Emily cried, trembling violently. What does it want? David looked at her with fear in his eyes. It wants to finish what it started years ago. Emily clutched her stomach protectively. And my baby. David swallowed hard. It wants your baby too. Emily let out a broken sob. Her entire world spun. The whispering continued. Louder, hungrier. Emily stared at the cellar door, shaking, terrified, unable to look away. Until suddenly, the whispering stopped. Silence hit the house like a weight. Emily held her breath. And then, something inside the cellar started climbing the stairs. The sound of footsteps from the cellar grew heavier. Emily clung to David's arm, shaking uncontrollably. It's coming up, she whispered. David stepped in front of her protectively. The cellar door creaked even wider. A cold wind rushed out, swirling around their feet. Emily felt her stomach tighten painfully. Please, make it stop, she cried. David raised a trembling hand toward the doorway. You can't have her, he shouted. The thing in the cellar responded with a low, rumbling growl. Emily felt the sound vibrate inside her chest. The house lights flickered violently. Shadows crawled across the walls. The whisper came again, longer, deeper. Emily. Emily covered her ears, tears streaming down. Don't listen to it, David yelled. The footsteps reached the top step. Something scraped against the wooden floor. David took a step back, pulling Emily with him. The cellar door slowly pushed outward, on its own. Emily felt her legs give out. It's here, she whispered. A long, pale hand slipped into view. Thin, trembling, reaching, searching for her. David shouted, Emily, run!